A quiet morning at Jefferson High started like any other, but students quickly noticed that something felt off. Footsteps echoed in the empty hallways, slow and deliberate, yet no one was supposed to be there. Phones began buzzing with alerts about a lockdown, but the tension was palpable. Teachers tried to calm students, but whispers of someone inside the school spread like wildfire. Students huddled under desks, peeking through windows to catch glimpses of shadows moving in the hall. The security cameras showed nothing, yet everyone could hear the footsteps getting closer. Hours felt like minutes as fear consumed the building. Some students swore they saw a figure pass by the classroom door, disappearing before anyone could react. Parents outside were frantic, unsure if their children were safe. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the police arrived, sweeping the hallways with flashlights and shouting commands. The intruder was never caught, and the students were left shaken, questioning every creak and whisper of the building. The memory of that day lingered, a terrifying reminder that danger can hide in plain sight. Turning an ordinary school day into a nightmare that would haunt them forever, IT started with a routine lockdown drill at Lincoln Middle School, but something went horribly wrong. As teachers secured the classrooms, one door refused to lock. Panic spread quickly among the students inside. They could hear voices outside, faint and indistinct, growing louder with every passing second. The teacher tried desperately to wedge the door shut, but it wouldn't budge. Heartbeats pounded, breaths were shallow, and students whispered frantic prayers. Every sound in the hall seemed amplified. The scrape of shoes on linoleum, the muffled coughs, the sudden clang of a locker slamming. Some students pressed against the walls, hoping the intruder wouldn't notice them, while others debated escaping through the window. Outside, the police were alerted, but communication was slow, and tension escalated by the minute. Every passing moment felt like an eternity. Finally, officers arrived, storming the hallway and securing the building. The door that wouldn't lock remained a terrifying mystery. The students and teachers were safe, but the fear lingered, a chilling reminder that even the smallest mechanical failure during a lockdown can turn into a terrifying ordeal, leaving young minds scarred with the memory of vulnerability. During a lockdown at Roosevelt High, a student discovered a note in the girls' bathroom that made her blood run cold. Written in messy handwriting on the tile wall, it read, "I see you." At first, she thought it was a prank, but the urgency of the lockdown quickly turned amusement into terror. Students huddled in classrooms, but whispers of the note spread, and anxiety grew with every passing minute. Teachers tried to reassure them, but tension was contagious. The note seemed like more than a warning. It felt like a message from someone inside the building, someone who knew exactly where they were hiding. Phones buzzed with updates, but no one could see who had left it. The custodians confirmed the bathroom had been empty before the school day started. Every creak of the floorboards, every shadow on the walls, set hearts racing. Police arrived, but no suspect was ever found. Students described hearing faint noises in the hallways, seeing shadows that vanished as soon as anyone looked directly at them. The note remained a haunting memory, a chilling symbol that danger often hides where you least expect it, and that during a lockdown, fear can creep in from the most ordinary places. The day began like any other at Maplewood High, but everything changed when the fire alarm suddenly blared through the building. Students bolted from their classrooms, expecting the usual drill, but the panic was real. Teachers tried to calm them, but the alarm was relentless, and confusion spread rapidly. It didn't take long for everyone to realize this wasn't a false alarm. Students were trapped in hallways filled with smoke like fog, unable to see what was ahead. Someone shouted about a suspicious figure near the gym, but no one could confirm it. Phones and communication lines were chaotic, making it difficult to know where help was coming from. Students pressed against walls and hid in lockers, trembling and whispering to each other, their fear amplified by uncertainty. Minutes dragged on like hours as law enforcement and firefighters rushed to the scene. When the building was finally cleared, no fire had been found, but the authorities revealed that a real threat had been lurking unnoticed, and the alarm had been a narrow warning of something far more sinister. The incident left students shaken, a reminder that even the most familiar safety measures can turn into terrifying confusion when danger lurks in unexpected corners. During a lockdown at Westbrook High, a student glanced out the classroom window and froze. A dark figure was standing outside, motionless, staring directly at the students inside. At first, no one believed her, thinking it was just a trick of the shadows. But as moments passed, other students began to notice the same figure. Phones didn't work inside the classrooms, and teachers couldn't see the hallways. The shadow didn't move for what felt like hours, yet fear pulsed through every room. Students whispered frantic guesses, some claiming it was someone who had been inside the school earlier. The tension grew unbearable as footsteps echoed faintly in the hallways, yet no one was there. Police were finally called, and officers rushed to the windows, shining flashlights and trying to identify the mysterious figure. When they approached, it vanished into the darkness, leaving no trace. The students were safe, but the terror lingered, a chilling reminder of how quickly ordinary walls can transform into cages when an unknown presence watches silently. Every glance out a window after that day carried the same tension, the fear of being seen by someone or something that shouldn't exist. Students at Franklin High were used to substitute teachers, but when one vanished during a lockdown, panic erupted. Classrooms were sealed, but whispers of strange noises and flickering lights spread quickly. Students reported seeing shadows move down hallways that were supposed to be empty. Phones were dead, and the intercom system failed. Every second felt like an eternity as teachers tried to maintain control, but the sense of unease was overwhelming. Some students claimed they heard faint footsteps in the ceiling above, while others swore they saw the vanished teacher's silhouette in a distant hallway. Law enforcement arrived, sweeping the building room by room, but the teacher remained missing. It was as if the school itself had swallowed them. Finally, after hours of searching, the teacher was found unharmed, but the students described the encounter as one of the scariest moments of their lives. The experience left them shaken, realizing that during a lockdown, anything unusual, even someone disappearing, can trigger sheer terror. That day became a cautionary tale, a vivid reminder that uncertainty can be as frightening as any physical threat. During a lockdown at Pinecrest High, a locker suddenly slammed open with a scream that echoed through the empty hallways. Students inside classrooms froze, unsure whether to investigate or hide. Teachers rushed to secure the rooms while calling for law enforcement, but panic spread rapidly. Witnesses described seeing the locker door move violently on its own, as if pushed by an unseen force. Phones were buzzing with alerts, yet no one could explain what had happened. When authorities finally arrived, they found nothing inside the locker, but students swore they could still hear faint whispering from its depths. Some claimed they saw shadows darting across hallways, too fast to identify. The incident left the entire school on edge, and the memory of that day lingered for weeks. Parents and staff tried to rationalize it, but for the students, the experience was terrifyingly real. Every locker, every darkened hallway, became a source of anxiety. The day served as a chilling reminder that even the most ordinary spaces in a school can become the epicenter of fear when the unknown is involved. It was an ordinary day at Roosevelt Academy until the entire school went silent during a lockdown. Phones were dead, alarms failed, and communication lines were cut off. Students described an eerie stillness that made every step, every whisper, sound amplified. Teachers tried to maintain order, but fear spread like wildfire. Some students reported seeing figures in the hallways that vanished when approached. Others heard footsteps and low whispers that seemed to come from nowhere. The tension was suffocating, with everyone unsure if the threat was inside or outside the building. Hours passed with only dim lights and tense silence to accompany the students. When the lockdown finally ended, authorities found no intruder, yet the fear was undeniable. Students shared stories of how their minds had filled in every shadow with imagined horrors. The memory of that day left a lasting impression, a reminder that sometimes the most terrifying experiences don't come from what we see, but from the silence that makes us question what might be lurking just beyond sight.